Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about meltdowns and why having a meltdown can be very beneficial to getting the life that you want or creating the life that you want. So I'd like to share with you a brief story to illustrate my topic of this week. And it's a story about the last year and a half of my life. So February of 2013, my husband at the time and myself decided to get a divorce. So we separated and started counseling. And I moved up to the guest bedroom. So of course, because we were going through a divorce and whatnot, tensions were pretty high. And we were still living in the same house. Now that, tension threshold was about up to here. And at the same time, my father was dying of cancer up in Wisconsin. So I was in Oklahoma and my father was up in Wisconsin, and knowing that he was suffering and dying of cancer, that was a very emotional thing also that I was going through as well. So fast forward several months, my father passed away in August, and in September my divorce was finalized. Also in September, I made a major move from Oklahoma to Wisconsin and relocated. So of course, that's another stressor and another very emotionally taxing time. So the divorce tension was here, and emotional stress, my father passing away, the major move. So of course, I'm literally up to here with all these major life changes and stressors. And fast forward ever so slightly, and in October, I fell down the stairs and re-injured my back. And well, it wasn't really not injured. December of 1993, I had a skydiving accident in the service and broke my back. So it was already injured, but I fell down the stairs and re-injured it even further, which led to having to get back surgery in January. So in December, I made the decision to relocate my two Chihuahuas from Wisconsin back to Oklahoma because they really did not like the cold weather. So my companions, my constant companions of 7 and 5 years, went back to Oklahoma. So then I was void of those. So that was another very emotionally taxing thing with injuring my back and having my dogs all of a sudden gone. And then in January of 2014, I went through major surgery for my back. And so January through March, I was in that after surgery recovery time where you can't bend, lift, twist, or stoop. And so that was very challenging because physically I was very limited. And then in May through July, I had a major overhaul of my business. So of course, having all of these things build up, the divorce, then the finalization of it, and then my father dying, and then the move, and then my dogs leaving and missing them terribly and injuring my back, well, re-injuring it, having the surgery, recovering from the surgery, and going through physical therapy for all of that, and then overhauling my business. Tensions were up to here, and emotionally I was taxed and physically, mentally exhausted, and I had a meltdown this past Monday. For the last 2 weeks, tensions with myself and pretty much everybody in my life have been just very, very tense and very trying and taxing. And this weekend it all came to a head. A lot of meltdowns, a lot of breakdowns, and a lot of miscommunication, especially over the last several months, just because of just how emotionally and energetically and mentally taxed I've been. And yes, I've been getting counseling. I've been also getting, therapy and coaching. So, and I have been actively working on these tensions and stressors in my life, which I think if you have, I highly recommend if you have tensions like this in your life that you do seek active therapy or counseling or coaching. So this past Monday, I launched my website and the new Inner Circle and was trying to get the members into the Inner Circle, and for some reason it wasn't working. And then I had to make my video and my internet wasn't working, so of course I just had a meltdown. I literally had a full-blown meltdown and was bawling. I mean, it was an absolute meltdown, and crawled into bed and basically told Spirit, I surrender. And it was so refreshing to feel that give way of just saying, you know, Spirit, take it. I can't do it on my own. And reviewing the last year and a half and knowing that any one of those in and of itself is challenging and taxing. And realizing during this process of the divorce and going through counseling and therapy about that and finding closure with that, and then my father passing away, and again going through therapy and counseling about that, and my dogs leaving, and my back surgery, and you know, just really it's one thing after another, and just when you think that the storm is over, something else comes, and then something else comes, and something else comes, and oftentimes our lives are like this, where it's like one thing after another, and we move on from something good in hopes of something greater, and we find something greater, and then something else happens. And it's very easy for us to get caught up with the emotional exhaustion or the mental exhaustion or the physical exhaustion, and it's very easy for us to forget to surrender to Spirit and ask Spirit, what's the next best action? What should I do next? What would make me get out of my ego thinking space and not feel attacked personally by someone's comments or by life when these emotional things happen? And lying in bed on Monday night, literally just kind of in the middle of my meltdown, I just told my peeps, my spiritual team, I surrender. Just tell me what to do next, really. And they just said, go to bed, relax, we'll take care of everything. And I really had to trust in Spirit. And there was things that I needed to get out on Tuesday morning that weren't finished yet, which I usually pre-schedule all that stuff. And I woke up bright and early on Tuesday morning and they said, okay, do this. And I was like, okay, so I did that, and they said, okay, now do this. And I did that, and everything was starting to work like clockwork again. And everybody was able to get into the inner circle. My video was made, my email blast was sent out. Some communication issues that had been kind of boiling up for the last several months started to, work their way out. And in having my meltdown and feeling that the only way to resolve it was to just surrender to Spirit and surrender to what is and say, okay, this is where I'm at. Where can I go next? Where do I want to go next? And what's the next best action? And allowing myself to feel out that action instead of think it out really was so beneficial. And I have a video called Heart versus Ego, or Spirit versus Ego. I'll actually put the link below it so you can watch it if you decide to. But this week's challenge is all about review your last year and look at all those shitty times or those challenging times and allow yourself to just kind of write them out and look at the appreciation and the gratitude that you have about that particular situation. And most of the times we get to those major life changes when we're fed up with something, when we're fed up with a relationship the way that it is, when we're fed up with the dogs peeing on the carpet because they didn't want to pee outside because it was so cold. Whatever it is, allow yourself to look at these major life changes and these major shifts, whether it's a death, a birth, a breakup, a breakdown, a meltdown, whatever it is. Allow yourself to look at the major life changes that you've gone through, and allow yourself to, for one, if you need it, go to counseling or therapy or get a coach so that you can actively work through these emotional things that are going on and these mental things that are going on. Because really having someone that's neutral to be able to bounce stuff off of and just talk with about that situation is so beneficial, and it's so therapeutic, and it's so healing and helpful. And it gives you that sacred space, knowing that you don't have to go through it on your own. And also during this challenge for this week. Not only look at what you learned and what you can appreciate from each of these life challenges, look at who was there for you and with you while you were walking this journey. And not just those that were walking next to you, but those that actually took your hand and said that it was going to be okay. Because we're all in this together, and if you have people in your life that lift you up, that even just walk next to you and put their arm around you and say, you know, it's going to be okay, find appreciation and gratitude for that, and let them know that you appreciate them being with you. And also, look at those people that were with you but chose to ignore you in your time of need. And honor that it's okay to let those people go. And it's okay to only have those people in your life that will support you, that will be your tribe. Because I believe it really truly does take a village to raise a child, and I do believe that all of us are children. Emotionally we are. And honoring this process of growth and rebirth, and that rebirthing time is so precious, and it's so cathartic going through that meltdown period. And that meltdown period really is like going through that birth canal. It really is going through that thick of it that you feel like, oh my God, I'm never gonna come out of this alive. And then coming out the other side with this massive, expansive release of energy and this breath of fresh air and this new zest that you have for life. It's just so refreshing. But really allow yourself to celebrate where you've come from over the last year or 2 years or 3 years or even 6 months. And allow yourself to recognize all that you have to offer and all that you can appreciate from those trials and tribulations and those major life changes, and honor those people that were with you, that took your hand and said it was going to be okay, and tell them how much you appreciate them. And also look at those people that were with you but didn't offer that emotional support and didn't say, I'm here for you, what can I do? Or I'm here for you. And allow yourself to be okay with letting that person go or people go if you are called to let them go. Because I believe it's so important for us to have a tribe of people that really will support you, that really will be there for you, and you will be there for them. So that's this week's challenge, to look at everything that you've gone through over the past year, all of those major life changes. Allow yourself to see the value in each and every situation, no matter how challenging it is, and allow yourself to find the gratitude and appreciation for absolutely all of it. And also find the gratitude and appreciation and celebrate those people that have been with you, that held your hand and walked with you through that journey, that emotionally and energetically supported you and said, you know, I'm here for you. And allow yourself to honor and release those people in your life that, you know, chose to ignore you in your time of need, because I know for many people that's an issue. So, and my tears during this video have been tears of gratitude, humble thanks and gratitude for all that I've been through over the past year and a half, and also tears of joy and excitement for what's to come, because with the dark always comes the dawn. And a lot of excitement and a lot of new adventures, to say the least. So, well, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please share it with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, or any other social media platform, and give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you won't miss one single episode of Fearless Friday. And also be sure to check out my new website, florasage.com. We got a facelift, yay! It's quite exciting, to say the least. And I'm really wishing you a fearless and fabulous day. Bye-bye.